This is Spoiler Country, a podcast about comics, movies, whatever, but mostly comics. Enjoy.
All right. Welcome back to Spoiler Country. I'm Kendrick Regan. That is Johnny Horsley. And today on our show, top 25 grossing movie franchises of all time.
Right. This is a fun topic because people always are so curious what movies make the most money right now, with Black Panther making $1 billion and Infinity War over $1 billion already. But let's talk about the franchises or the series.
Infinity War, $1 billion in 11 days.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty quick.
It's crazy.
It's going to make all the money.
All the monies. But
this is a fun list because it's the top 25 franchises. And then we also have, the top movie in that franchise and what the average film is in that franchise too, which is pretty interesting.
That is nuts. So we're just going to stop. We're going to stop. Are we going to start with 25 and just work our way down that list?
Yeah, I think we will. I think we'll start at the bottom and just kind of go up, and we'll kind of just talk about them as we go. I think it's kind of fun that way.
Perfect.
And what's cool is the very bottom one is some of these are franchises within franchises, if that makes sense,
A franchise within a franchise. Okay.
Right. It's franchiseception.
Okay, so could you say, are you saying all the Marvel MCU movies would be a franchise, but then within that, there'd be Guardians of the Galaxy?
Exactly, yeah, because it's all right. Because the MCU is one big franchise, but then it also has Iron Man, Captain America, little franchises inside of it. Okay,
right.
So let's go through this. Okay, last or 24th on the list is Captain America.
That's 24th on the list or 25th on the list?
Sorry, 20. Did I say 24? 25th on the list.
Okay. So Captain America is 25th franchise, but it's part of a bigger franchise as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Which may show up later.
Yeah, well, it might. It's a little indie project. You might have heard of it.
Right.
Marvel Universe.
That's interesting.
It's made $2.2 billion for the three movies.
That's quite a bit. How much did Winter Soldier make, and how much did? I would assume Civil War is the big winner of those.
Yeah, Civil War made $1.1 billion.
Oh my God! So that means $1.1 billion was split between Winter Soldier and First Avenger.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and the average film in the Captain America franchise made $746 million out of the three. So, and that is a huge hit from Civil War because Civil War was giant.
Well, Civil War was Avengers 2.5.
It really was. It really was.
Yeah.
All right. Number 24 on the list is Madagascar.
Oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't expect that one. I didn't even think of that as a franchise, even though I guess it is. It's had what dictates a franchise?
Multiple movies in a series.
Two would signify a franchise?
Yeah, 2 would make a franchise.
That's kind of lame. I think you should have at least 3.
Well, nothing on this list has less than 3, so we can say 3.
Okay.
All right.
But so Madagascar.
Yeah, it has 4 movies out. It's made $2.25 billion.
Wow.
The average Madagascar film has made $564 million.
What do you think of Madagascar films?
I like them. I think they're fun.
They're fun. Yeah, they're fun, right? They're not bad.
Yeah. So the highest grossing one was Europe's Most Wanted, which was pretty funny, which made $746 million.
Is that the last one?
Yes, I think so. I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably.
Huh.
I think it is. I don't fucking know.
I never would have even thought about it.
Yeah, it's a good franchise. It's kind of like one of those, franchises in the background you don't think of, like Ice Age, which is a great franchise.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, there's more. Every Ice Age movie is funny. I think they're solid, but they just come out and like, oh, there's more Ice Age movies out.
Yeah. Hey, that's another one too.
Which we might hear from Ice Age later on down the road.
I would assume if Madagascar made it, I'd be shocked if Ice Age did.
Oh, it does. It's there. I'll tell you that now. It's higher up.
All right.
All right. Number 23, and this one is kind of shocking that it's this low to me, and that's Star Trek.
Nah. Well, it's shocking it's that low because of the amount of movies. Wait, is that the newer Star Trek, or do they count all the Star Treks as the franchise?
It's all 13 films.
That's including the reboot.
Yes.
See, it's shocking because the amount of movies that there are.
Yeah, 13 movies, and it's 26th on the list or 23rd on the list.
Yeah. You would think that it would be in the top 10 just by the amount of movies that they have.
Right. It's made $2.26 billion. The average Star Trek movie makes $174 million, with the highest one being Into Darkness at $467 million.
That's because Star Wars is better. Yeah, that's right. I said it. That's right.
Nah.
I'm kidding.
You know what? Star Trek's a TV show, all right?
Yeah. Well, I don't really care. It's like whatever. But
I know.
It's interesting that it only made that much because are we counting video rentals?
No, this is just box office.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I mean, I love Star Trek. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I like Star Trek more than Star Wars, but I mean, I like them both. You know, they're both fun.
Yeah.
They're both different. I mean, I hate the people who try to compare them because they're so different, you know?
The only thing that they have the same is that they're both in space.
Right. And even that, Star Wars isn't a sci-fi movie franchise. Star Wars is like a fantasy in space. I mean, it's sci-fi-esque, but it's really a fantasy movie.
Well, Star Trek is much more, I mean, I hate to use this term, but it's true, realistic.
Right. It really is. It really is. Which is kind of why I like Next Generation stuff so much, is because, I mean, I kind of like the diplomacy aspect of it.
Crush on Wesley Crusher.
Well, I mean, he is pretty sexy, but
did you ever watch The Big Bang Theory? And Sheldon they do the bowling team where they're Wesley Crushers. It's like, it just sounds like you got a crush on Wesley Crusher. No, we crush Wesley.
No, that's not what it sounds like. All right. 22 on the list is another MCU movie franchise, which is Iron Man.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, before I tell you the amount all three of them have made, Iron Man 3 by itself made $1.2 billion, right?
Wow, okay. That's a lot. I didn't know it made that successful.
Yeah, it was a big movie. Yeah. Because by the time I got to the third Iron Man, they were in phase 2, and that was when everything was getting huge for the MCU. Right. So the average Iron Man film made $807 million. Now, the franchise made $2.42 billion.
Wow.
So half of that is Iron Man 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, Iron Man 3 to me, I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I think it was probably the weakest of the three movies.
I fall asleep through it every time. Yeah. I don't think I've actually ever was able, because I didn't see that in the theater.
I did.
And I saw it on video or on streaming or whatever.
Somewhere.
Yeah. And every time I've sat to watch it, I just fell asleep.
It's the weakest of the three, in my opinion, but it made $1.2 billion because by the time it came out, it was like, oh, everybody's going to see superhero movies now.
It's got AIM in it.
It does. Has AIM, and it has Pepper Potts becoming a superhero for a minute, and it was the first glimpse of the Hulkbuster prototype armor.
Well, you said it was like they do the whole Devil in the Bottle storyline in there.
Yeah, I can't honestly. I think that's in. I don't know if that's in 3 or 2 or 3. I don't remember. It's in 2 or 3. I think it's in one of those two.
If it's supposed to be in any of those movies, they did a terrible job of doing it. I'm sorry.
Right. I mean, it really was only like the first 10 minutes of the movie or 15 minutes of the movie that dealt with that portion of it.
2 is probably my favorite out of the 3 because it introduces Black Widow.
Right. No, I didn't see Iron Man 2 in theaters. I saw Iron Man 2 way later on DVD because I saw Iron Man 1 in theaters with my dad and I loved it because it was a great movie. And then Iron Man 2 came out. I was like, oh, I need to go see that. And I just didn't go see it. And I saw it, probably 2-3 months later.
Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Tony Stark in that first Iron Man, because he plays the same guy in 2 and 3. But
right.
It was, I'm not going to use this term lightly all the time, but he was transcendent in that role.
No, it was great. That role redefined his life and redefined superhero movies.
Yeah, and I mean, it just set the tone for the rest of the Marvel movies, and it just, I don't know, man. I mean, I know, like, spoiler alert, he does not die in the Avengers.
Right.
Infinity War, even though Johnny, through the whole time, you thought he was going to die.
I thought.
And when we were sitting there watching it, I leaned over to you and I said, I don't want him to go away. I want him to be Iron Man until he's 99 years old and then he dies from old age.
I'm Iron Man.
Yeah. I don't want Robert Downey Jr. I mean, I would be happy if that's all he does for the rest of his life is Iron Man. And, you know, fuck you if you want to do other movies.
Right. No, you're Iron Man, motherfucker. You do Iron Man.
It's just hard to see him be anything else. It's like, oh my God. So good.
Because everything he does, you see Iron Man. Even when I saw Tropic Thunder, I was like, hey, it's Black Iron Man.
Oh my God, he was so funny in that.
I know, right?
It was seriously so inappropriately funny. It was awesome.
I don't think anybody else could have pulled off that role that well.
Oh God, man, he was perfect. All right.
I'm sure his agent was like, don't take this role. Don't do this.
Oh, you never go full retard.
Right. All right, next on the list, and I'm actually very sad this one is this low, but it's number 21 is Superman. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense.
I get it, but it's like, so Superman's made $2.5 billion. I'm just happy that Superman's above Iron Man, Captain America, so that's good there, right? Right. I mean, granted, it took, Iron Man and Captain America 3 movies to make that much money, and it took Superman 8 movies to make that much money, but still, it's still above it, right? All that matters is that in number, okay?
I think if Richard Donner's Superman came out today, it would outperform a lot of other movies.
Maybe. I don't think the tone of that movie though fits with the tone of modern movies very well. I mean, I still do be wrong. I love that movie.
I don't know,
but it's iffy. I mean, with modern special effects, probably it would hold up.
Counterculture does really well.
Yeah, tell that to BVS and Justice League. So out of the 8 movies,
body blow, uppercut.
Right. Yeah. The average Superman movie makes $319 million, and the highest one is BVS Dawn of Justice at $873 million worldwide.
Okay. So they're adding BVS and all that into that.
Yeah, they're in all Superman movies. Mm-hmm. So up next is a film series that I know is probably good, but I really don't care about. That's Mission Impossible, which I know you like, right? You like that one, right?
I like them. I don't go actively out to watch them. I don't think I've seen it. I think the only one I saw in the theater, I think, was Ghost Protocol, and that was because it was a work function where they rented out the whole theater and we all went.
Yeah,
and I
saw
3.
I saw Mission Impossible 3 in theaters. That's it. And I was like, I mean, it's fun, but I don't really care.
I like them. The reason I like them though is Tom Cruise does like 99% of all of his own stunts.
Oh yeah, he's crazy like that.
Him hanging out the plane, holding on to the side of the plane. That's actually him doing it. When they show him holding himself up between the 2 rocks, he's really doing that. I mean,
I know, which is cool.
It's pretty cool. I mean, as much shit as Tom Cruise gets, that guy, he's a fucking man, dude. And he does the shit. I mean, he's better. I think he's better than people give him credit for.
Oh, no, he is. And again, he was amazing in Tropic Thunder.
Oh, yeah, he was so good at Tropic Thunder. Everything goes back to Tropic Thunder.
All right, so those movies made $2.77 billion. There was 5 of them. The average movie made $550 million, and the top one was Ghost Protocol at $694 million.
Nice.
So
no, I saw the John Woo one in the theater. Which one was that?
Fuck, I don't know.
I think that's the second or third one.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Anyways. Number 19 on the list is a movie franchise that I watched the first one and was bored to tears, and that's The Hunger Games.
Oh, The Hunger Games. I only watched the first. I never watched the last one. I just had no interest.
I watched the first one and I was like, okay, this movie's really boring. And I started watching the second one and they were in the forest and shit. And I was like, I just don't care.
Yeah.
And they kept making them. And I'm like, now, if you're listening and you love the Hunger Games, more power to you. That's cool. I just couldn't get into it.
They're not okay. Here's a deal for me. It's not that they're bad, and it's not like someone goes, "Oh, I love the Hunger Games." That you're going, "Oh my god, I can't believe you love the Hunger Games," like you would if they said, "I love Twilight." Then you're like, "Oh my god, okay, so you're a 14-year-old girl when those came out."
That's funny you say Twilight.
Yeah, well, it's probably next, but that's okay. But
it's close.
That's what goes through my mind. I think it's not a bad franchise. It's a cool story. It's all dystopian. When those came out, that was like the thing, right? We had a bunch of movies, bunch of stories that are all kind of basically the same thing. And it was cool. And I love Jennifer Lawrence. I think
she's great.
She's great. She cracks me up and she's fun to watch. And anytime she trips on stage, it's hilarious.
I know, right?
That makes sense.
It just wasn't for me.
I'm actually surprised it's that high.
Well, they made 4 of them. The total gross was $2.9 billion. The average one made $742, and then Catching Fire, that was the biggest one at $865 million. Which, I mean, people loved them. People loved the books, and that's great. It wasn't a franchise for me,
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I understand and I accept. That not everything is made for me.
Right, but it should be right.
Right, it should be, but I'm okay with it not being.
Yeah.
All right.
I just want to know where Sandman Slim is on this list.
It's gonna be number 1.
It should be, goddammit.
But it's not out yet. So we gotta wait. It's not out yet. So
give Richard Kadri all the monies.
Right. So number 18 on the list is Ice Age.
Okay.
Which I think Ice Age to me is a solid franchise.
It's funny.
Now I'll tell you a funny story, right? And let me go through the numbers quick. Then I'll tell you a funny story about Ice Age. So it's made $3.2 billion. There's 5 films. Average is out at $653 million.
I believe there's 5 films on that.
Yeah, $643 million. And the top grossing one is Dawn of the Dinosaurs at $886 million. Now, my funny story is I love the first Ice Age. I love the second Ice Age. And then Dawn of the Dinosaurs came out. And without knowing what was going into the movie, I was so upset because I was like, dinosaurs did not live in the Ice Age. They did not live at the same time as the mammoths and then stuff. What the fuck are they doing? This is not, this is so
by a very long margin.
Yeah. Like this is so historically inaccurate. This is, I don't want to watch this movie. It's so, I mean, I understand it's a cartoon and it's for fun, but it's so inaccurate. It's like, I don't want kids to think that dinosaurs and mammoths live together because that's so wrong. Right. But then we saw it and they handled it very well because it ended up being like during the center of the earth where the dinosaurs were like in the middle of the earth and it was like a lost world type of thing.
Right.
And it was done really well. And Simon Pegg played the character of Buck. And it was just so fucking funny.
Was it Puck, the character in Land Before Time?
That was Plucky.
Plucky. That's so funny. Yeah. Why do we either one of us know that? Well, it makes sense for you to know it because you would have been like 8. Because
Land Before Time is amazing. So next on the list is Kenrick's all-time favorite franchise, and he just talks about it all the time off the air, and that's Twilight.
Oh, just sparkly vampires. Love
right, just his favorite thing, right?
Yeah, because that's how all vampires should be. Nice.
Now,
vegetarians.
I'll tell you a funny story about Twilight too, but let me get through the numbers real quick. So the Twilight Saga made $3.3 billion fucking dollars for some reason.
I'm on Team Edward.
Team Jacob, man. # Team Jacob. It's 5 movies. The average one made $669 million, and the biggest one was the last one, Breaking Dawn Part 2, at $829. Now,
dude, teenage girl, man, loves that shit.
Right? Now, Twilight is an interesting series because if you read the books, they're also terrible, but the books, like, I don't know, how did you watch the movies? Any of them?
Yeah, I actually did. I don't know if I saw all of them, but, Tafine was a big fan of those. I mean, she liked them. She read all the books. I think she liked the books. I don't know if she loved the books, but she read them all. And when she likes something, she consumes it rather quickly. And so she read all those books like within a month. And then, and as the movies came out, I'm pretty sure that I watched at least 3 of them.
See, I watched the first 2 and I was done, but
I didn't intently watch them. You know what I mean? They were just on the TV, and then that was it.
Yeah. I didn't go see them in theaters. We watched them on DVD and they came out. But
I took her to one of them in the theater, the opening night, because she wanted to go, and so I took her like at 11 o'clock at night.
I'm sorry.
That was all right.
So when the books came out, Kaylee, was recommended to we had a friend, and she recommended, "Oh, you'll love Twilight. It's this great series." And Kaylee is a big, my wife. Yeah. If you ever meet her, she's a very smart girl. She's a very smart woman, and she reads a lot of really good stuff. But every now and then, she likes to read or watch things that are just garbage.
Yeah.
And I say it like
Guilty
that because
pleasure.
Right. She'll watch like the Real Housewives show, which she knows is just garbage TV, but it's just something she can just zone out with and not think about, right?
Right.
So when Twilight came out, she's like, I know this isn't great high quality reading, but I can just read it and zone out and just like, I shit you not, she literally just sat on the couch and just read all day long those books until she was done. It was like, Kaylee's time to eat, and now I'm reading. Like she just zoned out on those books and finished them all in like a week.
Yeah.
And then, because she read them all, I was like, all right, I want to be able to talk to her about this. So I read them all. Well, I didn't read them. I got the audiobooks and listened to all the audiobooks. I'm not going to read these books.
I think that would be worse. Listening to them to me would be worse. I'm like, if I could read them, then I could just skim through it really quick. I'll read the first and last sentence of every paragraph.
Well, the audiobooks weren't too bad. Because I love audiobooks. And with audiobooks, I set the speed at 1.5 so it reads it faster to me.
Yeah. We talked about this before, and I think I was in the investing episode, or it's either 1 or 2, and we talked about it, and and we had the whole conversation that when you tell people you read Twilight, you should say you read it when it came out to impress Kaylee enough for her to actually want to marry you.
Well, no, we were already married at the time, so it wouldn't have mattered.
I know, but the books came out in 2005.
Right. But she read them after the last one came out. We were married, living in Paulsville at the time.
You didn't get it then until the end of the conversation. You still don't get it. If you're going to admit reading Twilight, at least admit it to like you did it to impress somebody.
I don't give a shit. I read Twilight because I wanted to read it because I wanted to talk to Kaylee about it. Anyways, but it's just like, the point that I'm trying to get to is in the movies, they make, they don't touch on the biggest annoyance of the books. And that is when you read the books literally spend hundreds of pages of Bella going, Edward's so pretty.
No.
He's so pretty.
No, she
Oh my
does
God,
not.
he's so pretty. Like, it's like you're basically just reading a teenage girl's diary about how pretty this vampire is and how gorgeous he is for 300 pages. That's those books. And this series has I don't know how the movie ends. I never watched the last movie. I didn't give a shit. But the books, and I actually made a bunch of webcomics for my anime series about Pot and Kettle talking about Twilight.
Oh.
And I think I made like a total of 8 comic strips, and then later on I did a couple more just talking about the end of Twilight, because I was when I read it, or when I listened to it, I guess I was so like, this is fucking dumb, because the last book in Breaking Dawn, they build up this big fight between the vampires and this big war, right?
Right.
And they get to the ending fight, and it's like, oh, and like one guy jumps up and they knock him down and he dies, and they're like, oh, we're gonna fight. Nah, just kidding, we're good. Just take your baby and don't kill nobody, and we're all good, man. Peace out, dude. And it's like, you cannot spend 200 pages building up a giant fight to go,
we're good. Well, I remember in the movies when they talked about the fact that newer vampires were stronger than older vampires. I'm like, what? Right. That makes no sense.
the young blood's stronger than the
Let's
old
just
blood.
throw 100 years of written history out the window.
Well, I mean, they're only vampires in the fact that there's blood and teeth involved. I mean, they sparkle in the daylight. Come on.
Yeah. Too much time on Twilight.
Let's move on. Next is an even better franchise, Shrek.
I like Shrek. That cracks me up.
I do too.
Yeah.
So Shrek made $3.5 billion, 5 films, average of $702 million, and the highest grossing was Shrek 2, which is a phenomenal movie, at $919 million. And they're making a 6th one now too.
Are they really making another one?
Yeah, they're making another one, which is good, because I like the Shrek movie. I think they're fantastic. They're funny as hell. There's so much adult humor in Shrek.
Well, it's been
great.
a long time since the 5th one, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what the 5th one is, to be honest. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's been a long time since the last one. But I know the first one cracks me up because they do the whole, remember they show Lord Farquhar's tower, and it's just this big tower phallic looking thing. He's like, it looked like he's overcompensating for something, huh?
Get it? Yeah. So, the 5th one was Puss in Boots. So they're counting Puss in Boots in the Shrek franchise.
I saw that in the theater, and this seems to be a theme with me. I fell asleep.
Apparently, you can't stay awake for movies anymore.
I guess not, man.
But yeah, there's Shrek 2, Shrek the Third, Shrek Forever After, then Puss in Boots, and they're making the 5th movie in the Shrek series, but they're counting Puss in Boots because it's a spin-off within that series or whatever, But I mean, I liked all the Shrek movies. I think they're
funny. I like Mike Myers, and I don't know.
Yeah.
They're funny.
Right. All right. At number 15, we got Jurassic Park.
Wow. Now that you say that, I would expect it to be in the top 10.
Yeah, it's not. It's number 15.
Yeah.
It's made $3.6 billion. There's 4 movies. Yeah. The average movies made $922 million, with the highest one obviously being Jurassic World at $1.6 billion.
Wow.
Which I still haven't seen that movie.
Jurassic World made $1.6 billion?
Yeah.
I thought people were making fun of it like it was a flop. I didn't know it made that much money.
No, it made a ton of money. Because there was a thing when that came out. Yeah. Well, when Jurassic World came out the same year as Guardians of the Galaxy and the Lego movie, so Chris Pratt was in the 3 highest grossing movies that year.
Oh my God. What a douche.
Right?
No, I'm kidding.
Well,
it's awesome.
I like Chris Pratt.
Oh, I love Chris Pratt. I'm just kidding.
I haven't watched Jurassic World yet. I mean, I tried to watch it one time, and then I
like all the Jurassic movies. I mean, they're people running away from dinosaurs. It's fun.
Right. I love the first one, and I mean, actually, you're right. The first, even the second and third ones are kind of not nearly as good. I still enjoyed them.
Yeah, they're fun. I mean, they're popcorn eating movies.
Yeah. All right, let's go to number 14.
Yeah.
Number 14 is the Despicable Me franchise.
Really?
It's got 4 films. It's grossed a total of 3.7. Yep. Because they're counting Minions in that.
Still.
That's 3.7 billion. Average one at 927 million, with Minions coming in at 1.1 billion dollars.
Minions made 1.1 billion?
It did.
Wow.
It fucking did, man.
I didn't like it. Minions are funny in short spurts. A whole movie with Minions, them, it's annoying.
It was that movie was stupid. And it was annoying. And Despicable Me 3 was, I don't like that movie. It's dumb.
Yeah.
It has Trey Parker playing Balthazar Brat, which is a stupid ass character. And Despicable Me 1 and 2, I thought were really clever and good.
The first one is amazing.
Yeah, the first one's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great. And number 2, I still think number 2 is pretty good too. And then 3, it just goes off the rails. And it's like, this isn't really funny anymore.
3 is the one where he finds his brother, right?
Yeah. And Balthazar Brat, I've been a bad boy guy.
Oh, yeah. That was stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't enjoy it. Let's put it that way.
I mean, my kids love it. My kids love Minions. My kids loved Despicable Me 3. They mean Jack runs around going, "I've been a bad boy" all the time. So I mean, I'm like, yeah, you have been.
That's
but
kind of
stop.
funny.
All right. Number 13, the DC Extended Universe is at 13.
Wow. Okay.
With $3.76 billion, so 60 million more than Despicable Me. But it had 5 films, and the average DCEU movie has made $753 million.
Right.
Which is, I mean, that's nothing.
That's
to,
respectable,
that's nothing to be shy
man. That
about.
is
That's
respectable.
good. And the highest grossing one is BVS with $873 million.
This was 2005, man. That'd be
fantastic.
Yeah, people would be like, oh my God, it made how much?
I mean, that's still good money, but it's not
nothing to sneeze at. That's why we have so many of them.
right. It's not Avengers money, but it's still good money.
Right.
But I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with the DCEU. We all know this. I talk about it all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I want to love them, but I don't love them.
You want them to blow it up, but the part of me is like, if they blow it up, there goes Margot Robbie as
yeah,
and she's awesome. Margot
But, I mean,
Robbie
they
and oh God,
they could restart and keep they could keep the actor and just fucking start it.
yeah, it's hard to do that though, man.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't mean they can't do it. But I mean, I just
They can still salvage this if they just have somebody like I know they tried to get the Russos to come on and they're like, nah, we're sticking with Marvel. But
right.
if they just get some people and give them, they need a Kevin Feige is what they need.
Right. They need to have somebody. I mean, and they tried that with Zack Snyder, but you can't have the director who's also doing that. And they brought in Jeff Johns. When Jeff Johns is also doing so much other stuff, it's like, get somebody in there who's just going to oversee the universe.
Well, you got to get somebody that understands they need it. They need to cherry pick somebody off of Marvel is what they need to do. That loves comic books, that understands the characters and wants to bring what the characters represent to the screen. Because that's what Marvel does really, really well. Even when they change the backstory of the character, the feeling and the spirit of the character is captured just fantastically.
Right. And then in the DCEU, you've got things like completely missing the ball on Superman.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just they just have some weird stuff. Everything just feels rushed because they're playing catch up, and that's the problem. You're playing catch up. I mean, Zack Snyder,
catch up,
dude, shoots a beautiful film.
He shoots a beautiful film. He should be the cinematographer.
Amazing.
Yeah,
and the stylization and the way everything looks and the costumes and everything look fantastic. It's just the storytelling is subpar compared to what Marvel does.
Very lacking. Yeah, it's very lacking.
The dialogue.
Speaking of Marvel, number 12 is Avengers, which is a franchise within a franchise, and it's going to go up a little bit with the current movie that's in play.
Right, you
already
think?
at 1.2.
Right, you think in 11 days or 12 days or whatever?
Right. So it's currently, as of today, it's made $400 million out of 3 films. So this franchise actually has the highest per film average because there's 3 of them at $400 billion. It's made $1.3 billion per film. Sorry, $4 billion. $4 billion. It's late, man. Come on.
It's all good.
The average film's made $1.3 billion, and as of right now, the highest grossing film is The Avengers, the first one at $1.5 billion. But I have a sneaky suspicion that really soon that's going to be Infinity War at like all the billion.
Yeah. It has all the monies.
Yeah, and that's a great franchise. I mean,
yeah.
I love the first one. Second one's all right. The third one's amazing.
Yeah. Second one's fun.
As a franchise, is that really a franchise? Because could you just watch Avengers 1, Avengers 2, and Avengers 3 and it be a cohesive story? Because I don't think it would make sense if you just watch those 3.
Without watching the other one, like the other movies that surround it to introduce those characters?
Yeah, because you could watch.
I don't know,
Iron
man.
Man
It's
1, 2,
hard to
3.
say that. It's hard because like everybody knows who Iron Man is, even before the movies. Everybody knows who the Avengers are, even before the movies. Like my mom knew who the Avengers are. And, and if she had to think about it, she'd probably tell you like right off the bat, I don't know anybody who's in it, But I bet if she sat and actually thought about it, she'd be able to say Captain America. Yeah. You know what I mean? She would probably give you a correct character or whatever. So I think you'd be all right.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I get what you're saying though.
Right. I mean, because it's less of a franchise than Iron Man is because it's like the ending movies to a bunch of other stuff. But I mean, I guess it works.
Yeah, it's not a cohesive, like tight story within itself.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, they're great movies though. So, all right. Number 11 on the list.
Puny God. Yeah.
Right. Number 11 on the list is Transformers, which we were talking about before we started recording.
Yeah. Yeah. Transformers has that nostalgic feel for me. And we had that whole conversation that I feel the first one probably made a ton of, what was the most grossing one?
The highest grossing one was Dark of the Moon at 1.1 billion.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be the first one because the first one for me was like, oh my God, it's Transformers. And it's a live action Transformers. I can't believe I'm watching this. I can't believe I'm seeing this.
It was the same thing that happened with Iron Man, I think, because Iron Man 3 is the highest grossing one, but clearly not the best movie.
Right.
Because Dark of the Moon came out, it was
the build up for it.
The build up to it, and it was in a time where everyone was going to see these movies.
Yeah. God, that's so weird.
So, I mean, Transformers, the franchise made $4.3 billion. There's 6 films. The average one makes about $730 million, and Dark of the Moon with $1.12 billion.
Dang.
$730 million average for 6 movies. No wonder they've made 5 of them.
Yeah,
Right?
And when you have Dark Side of the Moon make $1.12 billion, how do you not make another one?
Right. You're going to keep making them until they stop giving you money for them.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
All right, now we're going to the top 10.
Well, the thing is, too, is the more movies they make, the CGI becomes cheaper because they already have all those renderings for all the models of those robots. So the first one cost them an arm and a leg, and the third one cost them, comparatively not as much.
Yeah, and as technology gets better, costs go down.
Yeah. So top 10. Let's do this.
Top 10. All right, we're in the top 10. So number 10 should be no surprise to anybody, is Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
It's made $4.5 billion out of 5 movies. That's an average of $904 million per movie. That's insane.
And those movies were a shock. People were not expecting how popular they were.
No, I remember when I went and saw the first one, I was blown away. I saw Curse of the Black Pearl.
I think that's 100% Johnny Depp.
It was 100% Johnny Depp. And it was, Orlando Bloom was good in there too.
Yeah, but now,
Keira Knightley was good. But it was all, Johnny Depp carried that movie.
Anybody could have been Orlando Bloom. Anybody could have been Keira Knightley.
Right. Nobody can be Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
right?
Nobody could have been.
He's probably one of the most androgynous cosplays you see at a show because you never know if it's a woman or a man, right?
Man, he was so good. And it was just, because wasn't there talk of him being nominated for an Oscar on that one?
I'm not sure, but I wouldn't doubt it.
I think there was talk that he could be up for an Academy Award for that one. Or maybe it was the second one.
No, they're good. Now, honestly, I've watched all, I'm pretty sure I've watched all of them now.
Obviously he didn't.
But what's that?
I'm just saying, obviously he didn't, but.
Yeah, right. I've watched all of them, but honestly, the last 2, I couldn't tell you what they're about or anything about them because they were just, they felt very, very generic to me. And I don't know. I feel like they fell off towards the end there, but they're going to keep making them because at $900 million a movie, why wouldn't you keep making them? Right?
Yeah, totally.
And the highest one is Dead Man's Chest, which is just over $1 billion.
Wow, man. It's crazy how much money these movies make.
I know, right? $900 million average for Pirates of the Caribbean. God, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Make them forever at that point.
What's number 9?
Number 9 is little old Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. That just makes my heart warm.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man. He's had 6 movies, grossing a total of $4.8 billion, with the average of $807 million per movie, with the highest one being not the best one of Spider-Man 3. At $890 million.
The Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3?
Yeah. Well, there was no Spider-Man 3 for the other franchise.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm just thinking, you had, because you could say Homecoming could be the third one of the reboots. I'm just in my head.
It's right. But it's the third reboot. But still, 6 movies, 3 reboot or 3 different Spider-Man, but still, it's Spider-Man. We all love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's great.
Spider-Man is, look, everybody talks shit about that third one, but you know what? It follows closer to the Eddie Brock Venom storyline that we're going to get with Venom.
Right. I would much rather have that Venom than the Venom we're getting.
Yeah. I don't know. And I love Sam Raimi, so
me too.
Yeah, it's hard not to love
Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is one of the ultimate comic book movies ever made. Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah. That is like one of the best all-around superhero movies. It's up there with Superman to me.
Well, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock was amazing.
Oh, yeah, dude. He was,
was so great. Yeah, and I remember when I saw the first trailer for Spider-Man, and it was with the trailer they took down because it had the Twin Towers in it back in 2001, 2002. And I remember seeing that first trailer, I've seen him swing in and then catch the helicopter and then take Twin Towers and just it just looking so cool of him swinging around, and then Tobey Maguire and the little quips and stuff. I'm like, man, this is going to be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Now, just above Spider-Man, where he deserves to be, is Batman.
Oh my God. You did not just say that. That's kind of
Yes,
a dick thing to say, but okay.
Well, I mean, let me tell you the numbers, and then it'll quickly become not a dick thing to say because you realize, oh shit, Spider-Man still is higher because
no, you said
Batman's
where he deserves to be. That's
right. Just listen to the numbers.
Superman's a bully.
And you're a dick.
No, go ahead. Give me the numbers.
Batman's made $4.9 billion total worldwide, but it took him 15 films to do it.
Wow. What? 15?
Yeah.
Wait, they're counting BVS.
Yeah.
Are they counting Suicide Squad?
I don't know. I should find out.
I don't think you can count Suicide Squad in that.
Right.
Because he's only in like 30 seconds of the movie total.
Let's see. Let me pull up the website again here.
Maybe a little bit more. Maybe he's less than 5 minutes.
I mean, he's in it for like nothing.
Yeah. He's less than 5 minutes.
Let's see. Where am I at? Batman. Where's Batman?
You're ruining date night.
Ah, damn. It's the wrong one. What?
Well, we'll just say it's the Burton films and then Schumacher's Folly. And then you have Christopher Knight's trilogy, right? Which the Dark Knight with, is it the Dark Knight? Is it the Dark Knight with Heath Ledger?
Chris Nolan? It's Dark Knight.
Yeah. Did I say Chris Nolan? Who did I say? That's somebody else.
Chris Nolan's director. Heath Ledger is the actor.
Yeah, I know that, but I thought I said somebody else, not Chris Nolan, when I was saying the director. When I was going through.
No. It's Chris Nolan.
Yeah. But you have those. So you have 2 from Burton. Is it 2 from Schumacher or 3 from Schumacher?
2. So there's 4. There's Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises. That's only 8 right there.
Right.
Or 7 right there.
No, that's 8.
That's
you got
no 4. 4 and 3 is 7.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's the Batman movie from the 60s. That's 8.
That was never in the theater, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I didn't know.
And there's BVS.
That was a TV movie.
How are they getting to 15 films? I got to find this and figure out what the hell.
Well, you got cartoons too. You have the Dark Knight Returns, 1 and 2. You have Suicide Squad. You have the cartoon one because you can count that as Batman because he's in over half the movie. You have Batman Year One. You have there's quite a few the cartoon movies too. You have The Killing Joke.
Okay, here it is. So the Nolan series is 3.
Yeah.
The Burton Schumacher series is 5. Oh, Catwoman, because the Catwoman movie with Halle Berry is in that series.
Okay, that's
the DC Extended Universe is 1, which is BVS.
How do they count
Lego Batman.
Catwoman, he's not in it.
It's a Batman. It's in the Batman universe, so they're counting it.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cheesy, but okay.
So
okay.
3 in Nolan, 5 in Batman Schumacher, DCEU 1 with Batman versus Batman v Superman.
So they're counting spoiler. They're counting Spoiler Country. They're counting Suicide Squad. Then
no, they're not. They're just counting BVS.
How do you count? How do you count Catwoman and not Suicide Squad?
It's a very good question. So I'm trying to get to 15 here. So 3, 5. So that's 6. That's 9. Then Lego Batman movie is 10. Mask of the Phantasm is 11. DC animated movies, which has The Killing Joke and Batman and Harley Quinn, which both had theatrical releases, there's 2 of them there. And then there's the TV shows. The TV series has 2, which is the Batman the movie, and then Return of the Caped Crusaders in 2016, which is the cartoon, which had a theatrical release. So they're counting. I mean, that's a lot to get to 15. They're counting 2 of the 60s, 3 cartoons.
I like
4
that they're
cartoons.
counting the cartoons.
Yeah. So there's your 15, the Nolan, the Schumacher, the DCEU, Lego Batman, Mask of the Phantasm, Killing Joke, Batman and Harley Quinn, Batman the movie, Return of the Caped Crusaders.
Wow.
So there's all 15 Batman. I mean, still 15 Batman movies, and they only average at $333 million a piece on what they make. And it's fucking Batman. I mean.
Yeah. But the ones that are taken seriously and like the Nolans and the Burtons.
Yeah.
Those are amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the Nolan series by themselves makes up $2.4 billion of that.
Yeah, well, The Dark Knight was just ridiculously good.
Yeah, and it kind of annoys me that The Dark Knight Rises made more money because the highest grossing one is Dark Knight Rises at $1.084 billion.
It was the whole lead up to it, though.
Yeah, because The Dark Knight made 1.004 billion, and The Dark Knight to me is a way better film.
Dude, I mean, I hate to say it because I love Marvel movies and I love Spider-Man, but that might be there's an argument to be made that that's the greatest superhero movie ever put on film.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. It's one of my favorites, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, man. It's
amazing.
It's amazing. Heath Ledger's performance. You watch Tim Burton's Batman now, it feels really dated.
It feels really corny.
Yeah, and I don't know that that'll ever happen with Christopher Nolan with that second film.
Yeah, I mean the first Batman movie, even Batman Returns, like the first one when the Joker does the whole dance scene and the art thing with the prince. It's like this is. I mean, it was fun at the time. It's still not a bad scene, but it's like this is really kind of campy.
Right. I mean, Jack Nicholson's performance is still good, but it's
still
not
great.
as
awesome,
scary as Heath Ledger.
No, Heath Ledger was he captivated that role.
Yeah.
All right, number 7 on the list.
Yeah.
Ready? X-Men.
I was wondering where they were going to be. They had to be somewhere.
Right. Well, there's been 10 movies.
I'm surprised
so there's
been 10 movies?
Yeah, 10 total films. Yeah.
Crap, man. I mean, I thought the third one was going to be the last one, and then they would reboot the whole thing.
Nope.
You know, and so
I mean, they kind of did, but they kind of didn't. I mean, there's 6 in the main series. There's 3 Wolverine movies, and there's 1 Deadpool movie so far. So there's 10 right now.
Oh, they're counting Deadpool.
Wait, it's in the X-Men universe. Yeah. So it's made $4.998 billion, and I went that far out because Batman is at $4.995 billion total. So it's really close to these two.
Well, yeah, but now Deadpool 2 is coming out. It's going to just push that over over.
I mean, the average film for X-Men makes $499 million. Deadpool being the highest at $783 million.
Deadpool's higher than...
Deadpool's the highest, man.
Wow. That's kind of cool. It's kind of... just because of the rating and everything, that's kind of surprising.
Yeah. I mean, it was a fantastic film. It's actually it's the lowest, it's the movie with the lowest budget in the X-Men franchise, and it made the most money.
Right.
Because if you think about it, it had like a $54 million budget or something like that, and it just made $783 million. Now, right behind that one, there's Days of Future Past, which is also
I think
one of my favorite X-Men ones.
Man.
Yeah, it's
and
great.
They reset everything, and they kind of I love the guy that is the young Xavier.
Oh, James McAvoy. He's
I
great.
thought he does such a great job.
Yeah, and then Logan is third with $619 million, and Logan to me is just a phenomenal movie too.
I love Deadpool. Don't get me wrong, I do. I love that movie. It made me laugh. But I told you when I came back from Logan, you're like, "How was it?" I'm like, I think that's the one, dude. And I don't think you can get much better than that.
No, Logan was a fan. I mean, I saw it at a work event at the Cinerama, and it was not Cinerama. I saw it at the iPic, and it was just amazing. And I saw it again, and I have the black and white noir version, and I've watched that. And it's just so good.
The noir version,
dude, it's so good. It's the same movie, just in black and white, but it literally feels different.
It's just so funny because when that movie came out, everybody said, "Oh my god, this thing would be amazing in black and white."
So they did, and they did it.
Yeah,
and they were right. It is amazing in black and white.
It's just that movie was so fucking good, man. I mean, it just trips me out and it pisses me off how good an X-Men movie can be is right there in Deadpool and in Logan. And Logan Logan captures the way I read an X-Men comic book and
the way I read Wolverine.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's ridiculous, and it's just like, why weren't you guys doing this? And I know that it's like, well, they set out and said we're making it rated R,
right?
But just the way they wrote it, it just made. It's like you always say, just make the movie, and if it happens to get a rated R, then it happens to get a rated R. And it kind of feels like even though they knew they could have rated R, it's like that's kind of what they did. They just made the movie to the best that it could be. And fuck, man, that makes me want to watch that this weekend. I think I will.
Right, it's so good. Yeah, I've watched it several times. I love that movie because I love X-23 in that movie.
How did you get the black and white one? Do you have it digitally?
Yeah, I bought it on Vudu. The Vudu option came with the black and white.
Oh, let me sign in and borrow it.
Oh hell yeah, I'll give you the login. I'll share it with you. I mean, I totally won't share my log with you because that's not allowed. I'll just somehow let you borrow it some other way.
I'll just come over and we'll watch it.
Perfect. There you go. All right. Number 6 is a franchise that I've only seen one movie out of, and everybody seems to love them, and I just don't get it. And that's The Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, they're fun.
It's made
guilty pleasure.
It's made $5.1 billion. Yeah, I mean, I guess I get it. I mean, it's cars and chases and stuff. I mean, I enjoyed the
Beautiful
first one.
women,
It was
beautiful
fine, but
cars.
I just don't.
Yeah,
Right.
the only thing I don't really like about those movies is I like Vin Diesel in a lot of things. Like I liked the Witch Hunter movie that he did, which everybody, I guess, it didn't do very well, but I actually enjoyed that movie. It was a lot of fun. But I don't like Vin Diesel in those movies, in the Fast and Furious, because I don't like characters that think they're too cool for school. It kind of drives me nuts.
And that's definitely him. Him and his wife beater. I'm too cool, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I love Vin Diesel in Pitch Black.
Oh
that movie was
God,
great.
that was amazing. And I like Paul
Walker.
Paul Walker is great.
Yeah. It was, I mean, I like Paul Walker too. I mean, I liked the first one. It was fun.
Yeah.
I just didn't really care to watch 7 more of them. You know?
Yeah, but they've changed. They've totally morphed now. They're
I know.
like
They're
Mission
totally different films
Impossible.
now. Yeah. There's 8 films. Average film makes $641 million, with the top one being Furious 7 at $1.5 billion.
Well, it's really James Wan too, the director. That guy is pretty good, man.
Yeah. Isn't he doing Aquaman right now too?
Yeah, and he did the last Star Trek.
Oh, yeah. Which I didn't see that one.
It's good.
So.
You should check it out. It's a lot of fun.
I will. All right. Next on the list.
What number are we at?
Number 5. We're in the top 5 now, baby.
Okay, let's do this.
All right. Number 5 is J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth series.
Whoa! You know what? I love those movies when they came out. Me and my brother have had marathons watching those. Completely forgot about them. Going through this list.
Yeah. Right. It's like I loved the first 3. Right.
Yeah.
I watched all of them in theaters. I watched all of the extended.
So
I bought
good.
the extended editions.
Jackson.
Watched them all at home.
Oh, guy was amazing. Did a really good job on that.
But I'll tell you this. I haven't watched any of the Hobbit films.
Oh, the Hobbit films are fun.
I mean, they came out. I was like, oh, those look cool. Then I was like, I don't really. I mean,
They took too long,
I don't care. I mean,
and it should have been 2 movies.
yeah.
And that's it.
There's 4 of them.
No,
right?
there's 3. And it should have been, and really they could have done the whole thing in one movie. And that's what they should have done, is the whole thing in
3,
one
yeah.
movie. But how annoying is it that they build all the way up to get to Smaug, and Smaug is like the best part of that whole book. And then you have Smaug for the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes of the first movie. And then he dies in the first 5 minutes of the second movie. And it's just like, what are you doing?
Spoilers alert, by the way. I didn't know that.
It's like, oh, you did. I'm sorry. It's been out for
seen
so
them.
long. I think by now
Right,
spoilers don't count.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
but I mean, dude, it's okay if you watch it back to back, because it's like okay, but even then, it's like why? And then you put the War of 5 Armies as the whole third movie, and there's not enough scene in the book to actually say we should have a third movie for this. It felt like a money grab in the worst way.
Well, I mean, The Hobbit is not a very long book.
Exactly.
Right? I mean,
It should have been one book.
Right. It should have been one movie.
One movie.
And,
That's what I mean.
I mean, if they were going to make any of them multiple movies, it would have been one of the original ones, right? One of the Lord of the Rings movies.
The Hobbit,
because those were huge
Hobbit
books.
is the first book. That was the original book. And it came out first. And then he did the other ones.
Well, right. But I mean, the Lord of the Rings is the big famous one, right? The Lord of the Rings is actually one big book that his publisher made him, or editor made him split into 3 books. And each book is still really huge, and The Hobbit wasn't. That's what I was saying.
Lot of backstory.
So anyways, average movie made $840 million, with the highest being Return of the King at $1.12 billion.
The only thing I don't like about those movies is they don't end. It's like it just keeps going, and you're like, dude, the battle's over. Everything's done. I don't need this backstory of the ending of The Hobbit, of them going back and saying, oh, yeah. Just like me talking right now. It's not ending. Let's get to the next one.
It's never ending. Oh, well, speaking of never ending, though, I mean, I'll just say this real quick about The Hobbit, or not The Hobbit, about Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. I legit thought that movie ended 4 times. At least 4 times.
All right, let's go.
I'm like, yeah, it's over. And, oh, nope, there's more. Yeah, there's more. I'm like, God damn it. This movie ever fucking end?
Yeah, when he was like sick, or like they show him back in Rivendell, and then they all come in, and then you're like, oh, they're all together, and then, oh, okay, that's the end. Oh, nope. Now they got to get on the fucking boat, and then you got to do the whole thing, and fucking old man freaking Bilbo, and then he goes, oh, okay, now that's the end. Nope. Now you got to see Samwise.
Are they trolling us? Is Peter Jackson trolling us now?
Yeah, man. It was like, dude, get your freaking encore done already.
Right.
Put that in your freaking extended.
Right. Exactly.
Don't make me sit through that. All right.
Next on the list is this franchise that has fought its way onto this list tooth and nail.
What number is this again?
I say that this is number 4, and I say that because it's had 26 films in this franchise.
26 films in the franchise.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. I'll work this one differently, just because it's interesting. 26 films that have grossed $7 billion,
Oh my God.
which means those 26 films have averaged at $270 million apiece on average. Any idea what it might
Bond?
be? James Bond.
That's the only film franchise I can think that has that many films.
Yeah, and there's some other ones that have that many films, but I mean, it's really 26 films at $270 million apiece, and the highest one being Skyfall, which I was bored to tears. That was the last one I watched.
Quantum Solace bored the hell out of me. Quantum Solace.
Yeah, I didn't really. It was all right. But Skyfall was so boring. Yeah.
I like Daniel Craig, but I think it's time for somebody new.
I like Daniel Craig, but I wish they would do more James Bond type movies.
Honestly, man, I think they need to do I think they need to get some fresh blood in there, and they need to make them. This sounds so. This is not diversity for diversity's sake. It's just that 26 films with a white guy. It's okay to do an Asian or a black guy or even an or
change it up a little bit.
Even an Indian guy. I mean, not even an Indian guy.
Yeah.
Or some guy from India, because dude, the Indian population in England is ginormous. So
I know.
It makes a lot of sense to have, Peter Russell go over there and be James Bond. I'm just kidding. You don't want to have Peter Russell be your James Bond, but you know what I mean? There's plenty of people that can be James Bond. And I think having somebody of color, I think it just feels like it's about time to do it, you know?
I mean, there was talk of Idris Elba doing it. I was like, hell yeah, let Idris Elba do it.
Yeah, Idris Elba could do it. He's done a lot of roles that would be, I'd like to see him do somebody unknown. Yeah,
I mean, me too. But when they were talking about Idris Elba doing that, he was fresh off of Thor, the first Thor. Hadn't done all the Gunslinger and stuff yet. So, all right, number 3. We're in the top 3 now. Now, if you're paying attention, you probably know what the top 3 are, and that's fine. But let's go into it. So, number 3 is Harry Potter.
That makes sense.
The Harry Potter franchise.
I knew he was going to be in the top 3. I'm actually surprised he's not.
Yeah.
I kind of have a feeling who number 1 is, but I thought he'd be number 1 or 2.
Nope. He's number 3 with 9 movies, right? And the average movie is at $948 million with a total of $8.5 billion of the franchise, with the highest one being the last Harry Potter film at $1.3 billion.
Wow.
Now, this one's going to go up because they're making more movies, and they're making more Fantastic Beasts movies and other stuff. It's going to go up.
I absolutely love the Harry Potter movies. I've read all the books.
Oh, me too.
I've watched all the movies. I absolutely love them.
I have the Stephen Fry read audiobooks, the British version. I've listened to those. God, so that used to be what we put on in the car. We'd go on drives with the kids because the kids would just listen to it, and we would just listen to Harry Potter all day long. It was great.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I love Harry Potter. Anyways, that's number 3. Fantastic franchise. I've seen them all multiple times. I mean, I love it when AMC or ABC Family Freeform now does their Harry Potter weekends, because you just put on Freeform and just watch Harry Potter all weekend.
Yeah, there you go.
If you have TV, I mean, I don't have TV anymore, so I don't really do that anymore. But I have them all. I have them all on Vudu.
There you go.
All right, number 2. There's only 2 big franchises left that people know about, and number 2 is Star Wars.
Yep, makes sense. I think I know what number 1 is now. That's for sure.
Yeah, right. So Star Wars has made $8.8 billion.
I thought Star Wars would be number 1.
Yeah. Well, it's not counting deep rentals, and it's not counting merchandise. Right. This is just worldwide box office.
Well, if it's number 1 is who I think it is, then would merchandising even still come into it? Because if you counted merchandising for them, it's got to be on the same level.
Well, it depends. So let's table that question. Let's pause that question for just a minute, okay? I want to come back to that. So, because I want to get through 1 and 2 before we talk about that, right? So, $8.84 billion for Star Wars, 10 movies. It's $884 million per movie, with the highest one being The Force Awakens at just over $2 billion.
Wow.
That's a lot of fucking money. $2 billion for one movie.
Cheddar.
Now, I'll be surprised if a movie in the next franchise doesn't break that. I won't be surprised if it doesn't break that. So, number 1 on the list of the worldwide gross, now that if I say it out loud, everyone's like, oh yeah, that makes sense, is the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right. Yep.
There's 19 movies in this franchise. 19 as of right now. I
can't believe there's 19.
And this number is just going to go up because there's still 2 of them are still in theaters right now.
Top 2 owned by Disney.
Yeah. Top 2 by Disney. It's like shit. So the 19 films have grossed currently a total of $16 billion.
Oh, that's double what Star Wars is at.
Now, yeah, that's just about double number 2. And I mean, you think about that, that's going to go up because Avengers Infinity War is still in theaters right now. Black Panther is still in theaters right now.
Ant-Man's coming out.
You've got Ant-Man coming out, Captain Marvel coming out, Avengers 4 coming out. So, I mean, that's just, I mean, Star Wars is going to keep going up too as well. But I mean, MCU is going to go.
It's never going to catch the MCU.
No, I mean, it's had 40 years.
The only people that could potentially catch up to the MCU is the DC.
If they got their head of it,
they do it right. But it's going to take them at least 20 years.
Yeah,
if they do it right now, and they start now, and they do it correctly now.
Yeah. So it's an average of $843 million per film. And they have, which is a little less than what Star Wars has. Star Wars is 84 per film. So it's about 40 million less on average. And the highest grossing film as of right now is the Avengers at 1.4 billion, but that's going to be changed real soon to Infinity War at a lot higher.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's the top 25 top grossing movies of all time.
Top grossing franchises of all time.
Sorry. Thank you. Franchise of all time. Now, let's go back to your question about merchandising. Well, now, here's
real quick before it goes out of my head. Some of that list, though, is kind of lame because you have Avengers, you have Captain America. Those roll into the MCU. You know what I mean? It's kind of it's I don't know. I get what they're saying, but at the same time, it kind of cheats to make the MCU number one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I get it. But it's
you're having
also
the same film.
I mean,
you're basically having Avengers twice and Captain America twice, and Homecoming twice.
I get it, but also, I mean, I could argue that it's cheating, but honestly, I don't think it is and only because the Captain America movies tell a story, right? The Iron Man movies tell a story, but those stories also are in a bigger story of the MCU.
They're part of the web.
It's like. Right, they're part of the big web. So I mean, the MCU is a big franchise in itself, but Captain America is also a franchise by itself, and so is Thor, and so is Iron Man. Those are also smaller franchises within a giant, a bigger franchise, which is something that's never really been done before to that level.
Right. No, I get it.
There's no precedent for it.
I get it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, MCU is just a great job. I love the MCU.
Yeah, dude, they do an amazing job with all their stuff.
Right. So back to your question about merchandising real quick. I think you said, would it count? Would MCU still be in there? It's a good question because what do you count for MCU merchandise? Do you count everything that involves those characters or only things that are from the MCU?
Right. That's the question to be had. I thought the same thing is like, well, because if you're going to count everything to do with Marvel, then you got to go back all the way to 1939 and move yourself forward. And then that's not really a fair way of looking at it, right?
Right, it's not fair at all. But if you do just movies in the MCU,
and then look at toys and everything that's come out because of those movies, I think Star Wars would probably be way up there because Star Wars changed the industry.
Star Wars changed a lot of things with it,
Kenner toys and everything. I
mean, it made Kenner toys. It made it made industries, and it made a whole new action figure line, and there was so much. I mean. The original trilogy made a lot of its money, and George Lucas made a lot of his money on more money on the toys he did on the movies, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
I mean, just watch the Netflix show, The Toys That Made Us on Star Wars. You'll learn a ton of really cool information.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's our show today.
That is our show.
It's a little some information, some numbers, some bantering. It was fun. This is a fun.
Yeah, it was just a fun thing to do. We were like, kind of racking our brain. What do we want to talk about? And then we started talking about movies. We're like, why aren't we recording this?
Right. Let's hit record.
That is a show. We are out of here, guys. Well, before we go, let's do our normal things. We are heard everywhere podcasts are heard. So if you go out there and you say Spoiler Country Podcast, we're going to come up, and we're going to come up in any podcatcher that you use. That includes iTunes, Google Play, Podcast Go, all those big ones. We're on there.
Every single one of them. We're going to be there. And if we're not on one, let us know. We'll find a way to get there.
If there's something out there that we're not on, let us know. But we're pretty sure we're on all the platforms now.
Yeah. Yep. And if you want to talk to us, you can email us at spoilercountry@gmail.com, and we'll respond to you. We're happy to talk to you.
We're on Twitter at twitter.com spoiler_country.
That's right. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. You just search our social medias for Spoiler Country. You're going to find us.
That's right.
And if you really want to, you can call us and leave us a voicemail at 707-656-2080. And we're going to have a fun episode going through those one of these days.
We'll start throwing those on random episodes so that way.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody wants to go through an hour of voicemails.
Well, I do, but I'm weird like that.
All right, guys. So. Thanks for listening to us. We'll see you soon. We're out of here. Open your mind. Read more.
See ya.